In this installment, we're going to be going over the Monday Night Football Showdown slate. We have a doubleheader here between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we have the Los Angeles Rams going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our Monday Night Football slate we got going on. This is another doubleheader here with two premium matchups. The Eagles going up against the Bucs, and we have the Super Bowl rematch with the LA Rams going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, all right? But before I deep dive into that, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Guys, don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about the Patreon. If you want winning bets, sign up for that Patreon. That link is down below. Get ready for the Monday Night Football bets. These are going to knock your socks off. And before I deep dive into this slate, guys, we are currently at 1.41 subscribers, all right? 1.4 thousand subscribers. Let's get that correct here. Let's continue to push that number up. Let's get to 2K before, let's say, we're going to be a little aggressive here. By the end of October, can we get to 2K? All right? When you see this video, if you are viewing and not currently subscribed, smash that subscribe button right now. We're going to kick things off at that quarterback position here in this two-game slate, all right? When we're looking at this slate, there's one quarterback I do want to avoid, and that could be a little bit risky for some people. I think I want to fully avoid this until this player is 100% healthy, and he is not 100% healthy. He needs to sit out and needs more time, and that's going to be Joe Burrow. That's the guy. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to play in any lineups. I would much rather go with Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he's going to be our top quarterback option. I like Matt Stafford in that LA Rams Cincinnati Bengals game, and if I'm desperate and I want to switch things up, then I would go with Baker Mayfield. So obviously, first guy here, $8,000 in salary. Jalen Hurts has huge upside, obviously, with his arm and his legs, all right? My favorite stack is going to be the Eagles stack with Jalen Hurts, and I'm going to talk about the wide receiver that should smash finally in this Week 3 slate, all right? So Hurts coming in at $8,000, have no problem paying up for that. We have that rushing upside that can definitely come in handy here, especially with Boston Scott out. They're going to be down one running back. They tend to run three running backs. They do not trust Rashad Penny right now, and we'll furthermore go into that running back position very, very soon. But the upside here with Jalen Hurts is immense, even against this defense here. Kalijah Kancey on that D-line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's going to be out as well. That's going to bode well for this offensive line here in moving the pile. And Jalen Hurts, if it's goal-to-goal situation, you know he's going to QB sneak it with the tush push and get you fantasy points, all right? So love Jalen Hurts in this Monday slate. The next guy we'll be talking about will be Matt Stafford. A healthy Matt Stafford is a very dangerous Matt Stafford. Hopefully we can get a game that's going to be over 20 fantasy points here, but he's looked clean, precise. He's thrown back-to-back over 300-yard games here against Seattle and San Francisco. So tough defenses here. And Matt Stafford has not lost a beat. And this is without Cooper Kupp, and he hasn't even involved Tyler Higbee. So Stafford at $5,600, have no problem going to that type of salary here with some upside, going up against Cincinnati, which is a little bit banged up on both sides of that football. They lost their heart and soul in the secondary with their safeties with Bates. And this team is really trying to find themselves right now. They're trying to get healthy, but now they're going up against a hungry team and a team in the Rams that has surprised so far early in this season, and they're not going to go away. Stafford's going to put up a double-digit touchdown game. Book it, all right? So I like him as my second quarterback to go towards in this slate, all right? So we'll throw Stafford in here. And then our third option at quarterback will be Baker Mayfield, all right? Baker Mayfield is a decent option here because this Philadelphia Eagles defense has a lot of holes, all right? When they're fully healthy, this is a top-notch defense with a couple of holes here in their secondary and on their front defensive line. Then there's a little bit of question marks. It leaves opportunity for opposing quarterbacks. So if we're looking at fantasy points allowed to opposing quarterbacks, the Eagles are fifth worst in the league, 28th overall, 28th in the red zone, allowing 340 yards passing, 3.5 touchdowns a game. Because of those injuries, obviously, also because of the Eagles putting up so many points, that these opposing offenses are forced to throw at a higher clip and forced to score more points, all right? But the injuries are hampering the Eagles team as of right now. That's why I do like Baker Mayfield. If you want to be a little bit contrarian, not a lot of people want to go here, definitely is going to be worthwhile in that stack because he has very talented weapons. So Baker Mayfield is going to be our QB3, all right? Let's move on to the running backs. At that running back position, we're going to look at the top here. Start off with Joe Mixon. All right, he's not our favorite play, but Joe Mixon's going to get a ton of usage here. Obviously, he's the highest cost running back here, but he's a guy that's going to get double-digit rushes, and he's going to see a nice handful of receptions. If things go bad and they have to go to Browning at quarterback, believe me, he's going to be checking down that football, especially with no Irv Smith at tight end. They're going to be relying upon a sure-handed Joe Mixon and a lot of dinks and dunks in his offense. But stay tuned to the news if Joe Burrow is going to play or not. And believe me, he's going to be hampered, okay? He's going to be hampered. We saw it, and he could re-aggravate this injury at any moment. So Joe Mixon might be leaned upon a little bit more. Then they're going to need to establish the run to open up the pass and get guys open like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. That's why we can go towards Joe Mixon at 6,300. Rachaad White is going to be a full avoid in this scenario here. I do not trust running backs against the Philadelphia Eagles. Passing wise, they've been fine. Against opposing running backs, they are still elite, okay? They still have a very strong pursuit, and that's, as you can see here, they are top 4 in the league, 4 overall, 4th in the red zone, only allowing 41 rushing yards and 2.19 yards per carry. That does not bode well for him. Rachaad White finally had a bounce-back game against the Chicago Bears. He had a poor performance against Minnesota, and Minnesota gives up a ton of yards. So I expect Rachaad White to have a poor performance in this particular game unless he really goes off in the receiving department. That's his only saving grace, okay? So Rachaad White, we're going to be a little bit down on him in this 2-game slate, all right? The next guy we're going to be talking about will be a tandem here. We have DeAndre Swift at 5,800. As you can see, he went off against Minnesota when Kenneth Gainwell was out. He took full advantage of his opportunity and got 30.1 fantasy points, all right? The next guy here is going to be Kenny Gainwell. You're going to pick and choose of which one of these guys you want. We're going to see which one, how they're going to split this running back by committee here between these two guys, especially since Boston Scott is out. They're probably going to be getting split carries right down the middle between DeAndre Swift and Kenneth Gainwell. Swift is more explosive. Kenneth Gainwell is the guy that they trust more, especially in third down situations and to receive the ball. So I might be leaning Kenneth Gainwell. A lot of eyes are going to be on DeAndre Swift. I want to go with the lower percentage owned guy here, and that's going to be Kenny Gainwell. He's going to go under the radar, but it's a guy that they really trust, and that's why he took over full reign in week 1. Now he's back and healthy. I love him at 4,900, all right? And then last but not least, do not forget about the Rams running back. This is my second favorite running back on the slate. No, matter of fact, I lied. This is the number 1 running back on this slate. I love him. Kyren Williams, because of this offense, because of his opportunity, he usurped Cam Akers, as you saw in week 1. He had 17.4 fantasy points, and he had a limited amount of work. Then against the 49ers, a stout defense, he took the full workload. Yes, it wasn't great yards per carry, but they trust him and they know he can catch the ball at a very high rate. They fed him 10 targets, 6 receptions, 48 yards, and a touchdown. With the trust the full trust of Sean McVay and Kyren Williams. You have to back that up. And he's going to be a lock in each and every one of our lineups for the Monday slate. This is a lock. You must have Kyren. I would take out Joe Mixon in a heartbeat and put Kyren Williams in here in every single one of our lineups, all right? Make sure you have Kyren Williams. Love him in this Monday slate. Let's go on to the wide receivers. At the wide receiver position, you know this is how we do it. We do it more of a stack variation, but I will just say the one-off lock. All right, we got 2 locks in this slate. Kyren Williams at running back, and the lock to have in each and every one of our lineups at the wide receiver position will be A.J. Brown, okay? A.J. Brown is finally going to get a much-deserved touchdown. You should take this prop bet right this second. It's going to be in my Patreon as well. A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown. And matter of fact, hey, A.J. Brown first touchdown. Take both of those, okay? Love A.J. Brown in this game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's been crying for the football, and they're gonna grease the squeaky wheel. That's what usually happens. A.J. Brown was unfortunate to have a touchdown call back. So this week 3, it's going to happen. Do not forget to smash that button on A.J. Brown. Love him in this slate. The other guys you can consider will be Devonta Smith, and that's pretty much it. They go 2 wide receivers or they go Dallas Goedert. So in this game that I think A.J. Brown's finally going to have a huge game, Devonta Smith numbers might come down a little bit. And we'll talk about someone else in this offense that I do like going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all right? The next stack we're going to be looking at will be a very surprising stack here, and that's going to be the Los Angeles Rams here. This team has surprised a lot of people, and Puka Nacua has come out of nowhere and has literally set ablaze to the fantasy football scene and DFS. Look at these numbers for this rookie wide receiver in the first 2 games. Talk about Cooper Kupp in a whole nother number, number 17. He has taken over this wide receiver core right now until Cooper Kupp comes back. We'll see how that goes. But Puka Nacua, as long as he's healthy and fine and playing, we're going to put him in our lineups. 24 fantasy points against Seattle, 33 against San Francisco. We're already building a beautiful lineup here. If you want to change Stafford, you can, but we have plenty of salary. Do one with Stafford, one without. Puka Nacua is a smash play. Another surprise play is Tutu Atwell. He's become the clear-cut number 2 wide receiver here, and Van Jefferson has fallen back, all right? He has not progressed. Tutu Atwell has, Puka Nacua has, and as you can see, 17 targets in the first 2 games, 13 receptions. He had over 100 yards in the game against Seattle. Very impressive of what I'm seeing out of this new revamped Los Angeles wide receiver core with Cooper Kupp out as of right now. So he's another guy we can look at, all right? Now, the next core of wide receivers we're going to be looking towards will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all right? Tampa Bay Buccaneers has 2 prime wide receivers here. Mike Evans is number 1. He's going to be very chalky, especially if going off of what he just did of 32 fantasy points. But do not forget about Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin is another squeaky wheel that he might get fed here and get in the end zone as well. He has yet to get in the end zone, and he's your possession wide receiver here, someone that's very trusted. And Chris Godwin is someone not to be forgotten about. I'm going to be playing him in our lineups on Monday slate with all the eyes on Mike Evans. You do not forget about Chris Godwin. Believe me, Philadelphia is going to be putting a lot of focus on Mike Evans in this particular game here. And if we're really going down deep here, 3,100 Trey Palmer will be our flex punt play that you can consider. All right, we're going to give you a few punt plays. All right. Buccaneers, Trey Palmer is one of them, and then we'll talk about another one on the Cincinnati Bengals side. But he has some upside here. He has a touchdown already in week 1. Obviously, he's not going to get targeted at a very high rate. You need him to get an end zone, but he could definitely pay off his salary at 3,100. And then our last but not least stack here is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to be the lowest on them because we do not like Joe Burrow as long as Joe Burrow is not healthy, all right? But this will be a little bit contrarian if you want to either choose between Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You can't have both because one of these 2 are going to go off, man. One of them. But we'll see. T. Higgins had his game previously Against Baltimore, 8 for 89, 2 touchdowns and 12 targets. Jamar Chase is yet to go off like that. So he's pretty due with all the eyes on A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Mike Evans. Jamar Chase might fall under the radar here, but he's still getting targeted at a very high rate. 9 targets in week 1, 8 targets in week 2. He just needs to get going and get in the end zone. And then we can see the old Jamar Chase. And he needs his number 1 quarterback to step things up, get a little bit healthier. We'll see if that happens in this game. I'm not very encouraged because of this in particular injury has hampered Joe Burrow. All right. So Jamar Chase, 7,800, Higgins at 6,200, a guy that I can rely upon, even if it's a backup quarterback, is going to be Tyler Boyd. All right. Tyler Boyd is that possession receiver, safety net for Joe Burrow. And if it's Browning, Tyler Boyd is going to be a nice, safe punt play, just like we have Trey Palmer. If you don't like Trey Palmer, go with Tyler Boyd to put in that last flex spot, and he should pay off dividends. All right, he's he's going to come up when you least expect it, have these big games. All right, he has 800 yards every year. He's that reliable slot wide receiver. Okay, Tyler Boyd, I like him at 3,500. All right, let's move on to the tight ends. Now on to, last but not least, the tight end position here. And we're going to start off at the top with our favorite play, and that's going to be Dallas Goedert. This is the true number 2 receiving option in the Philadelphia Eagles offense, all right? He had 0 receptions, 1 target in week 1. Everyone was going crazy, and they fed him in week 2. Didn't get in the end zone, a lot of short targets, but you saw Jalen Hurts when he needed someone, a safety net, someone to check down to. Dallas Goedert is his guy. 7 targets, 6 reception, only 22 yards. I expect a little more from him and get in the end zone in this game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers struggle against tight ends. Let's double check this so far in the season. If not, hey, we're going to trust the process here. And if we go towards the Eagles, are struggling against tight ends here. As you can see, they're second worst. And we're going to talk about him very soon. He's going to be very, very cheap. But for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're all the way down. They're at the bottom? No. Where are they at? Okay, they're in the mid-pack. All right, 7.5 catches a game, around 52.5 yards. So that bodes well for Dallas Goedert. He still hasn't even had a game of over 50 yards, and that would be very good. If he gets in the end zone, he's going to pay off dividends here as the number 2 option in this Philadelphia Eagles offense. Like him at 4,800. Tyler Higbee, he's a guy that's going to get targeted. He's a guy that's going to have a low A-dot. We need him to get in the end zone here at 4,400. I expected more out of him with Cooper Kupp out. But it's been other guys stepping up in this offense. Tutu Atwell, Puka Nacua, all those guys have been getting all the usage, and Tyler Higbee has fallen behind just a little bit. All right, but this could be a game that he stepped things up. All right, he's going to come out of nowhere, but do not forget about Tyler Higbee. Cincinnati defense is 28th overall and 28th in the red zone. So that bodes well for him. Tight ends are averaging 47 yards and a touchdown. So Tyler Higbee is going to be viable at 4,400. A lot of people are going to go Goddard. Tyler Higbee hasn't popped off yet, and he could definitely do so. All right. Cade Otton is someone that we can consider at $3,000 in salary. He's getting a nice little bit of usage here. Week 1, 3 targets. Week 2, 6 targets for 41 yards. Got you 10 fantasy points. He's someone, a lot of people put Baker Mayfield down, but Baker Mayfield throws to his tight ends. He did it with Cleveland. So do not go away from Cade Otton. If you need this salary here, if you need to punt the tight end position, I would trust Cade Otton in this particular matchup. You expect him to be down. They're going to need to throw it. And I like Cade Otton. If all the focus is going to be on Mike Evans, other guys, the secondary guys like Cade Otton, like Trey Palmer, and even Chris Godwin are going to get some usage, all right? Like him at $3,000 in salary. And then if you're really, really desperate, since Irv Smith is out, the next tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals, I wouldn't go here, but I'm just letting you guys know, Drew Sample, it would be the guy you would choose over Will Cox, okay? It'll be between those two guys since Irv Smith is out. Irv Smith is horrible, all right? He's yet to do anything in his career, And him being out doesn't really change much for the Cincinnati Bengals offense here. They should be relying more upon their wide receivers. Maybe on a bootleg scenario, Drew Sample gets something, and he might fall in the end zone. So in this lineup build, we'll throw Tyler Higbee in there. And that's pretty much it. If you're looking for defenses, I'm looking at the Eagles or the Rams in this situation, all right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessNSD. And guys, remember, if you're not currently a subscriber, but you're watching this video, click that subscribe button right now. If you want bets for Monday Night Football, anytime touchdown, guys, money line bets as well, go to that link provided down below. That's the Patreon sign up right now. All right. Peace out, guys.